We've been selected to be on season 2 of Drag Race High, so here it goes. We have to build a Chevelle.
We're gonna build a Camaro.
All right.
And it's gonna go fast.
A 10.5-inch tire is what we could fit under here in a relatively stock location. It's not gonna be enough to power this car to the times that we want to run it at.
Both schools are running a little behind.
Breaker is no longer on the crew, and it's official now.
At the midterm, both schools are no better than a C.
All of the judges think you need to take ownership of what's happening around you.
You need to stop looking for ways around the rules.
I think greens be scrap.
We have a long way to go.
Starting pre-assembly of the motor, you're gonna drop the crank in, and then rotate it and start from the bottom. Can't wait to see it done. Want to see it by the car. My nickname came about through the first day of school. We just didn't really know a name to call me, so Grace thought Big Block would be appropriate for the program.
They call him Big Block because he's huge.
First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get one of you guys to lay the crank. Okay? All right. So Big Block, you get to put the crank in here and just go straight on down. The main caps are the ones, just be watching this one and this one straight. Come, you're backwards. Yeah. Watch your finger right there. Perfect.
Big Block, he's a big old boy, you know, likes engines.
I know. We're dealing with big motors and a lot of horsepower.
Swat a little bit.
Oh, that was just from me walking. Horsepower and pulling power. And that's me.
None of us have really ever built a race car engine before.
All you guys come on over here and take a peek, and what we're doing, we're setting a positive piston stop.
And I didn't realize all these measurements were so critical.
So right now it's hitting 30 degrees before, top dead center.
All the honing, just get everything so perfectly lined up within thousandths of an inch.
Let's call it the inside line of 40 to the inside line of 40.
A lot more involved than I ever would have imagined.
I decided it was time for another judge to visit the schools.
Hey guys, this is Tim Miranda. He's from Castrol. He's gonna be our judge for the show. Say hi and say what's up.
Hey guys, how's the car coming along? Good. What I do at Castrol is I'm the senior engineer at Castrol, and I take care of all the racing oils for all the cars that we work with in John Force Racing.
What makes it so special?
Let me explain why Castrol. Liquid engineering. This man, Edgar, has hit right upon it. We create engine oils. We actually create them using components that we select. And we actually have some proprietary molecules that we actually have the patents on that give us capabilities that nobody else has. So we have complete control over the formulas. When I think of the El Camino students and I look at the progress that they've made on the car, there seems to be a core group running the project. The other members in the class seem to need some direction. How's the motor coming along? All righty. Got awful quiet real quick. First impressions of Romana. A very straight up group of people.
This is Tim from Castrol. He's a senior engineer.
Morning, everybody. Morning. How's everybody doing?
Good. Good.
Good. Car's looking good.
Thank you.
They look you right in the eye. Just very direct, very focused group of students. I was really impressed with the Romana car.
33, I think we went with 15-inch tires.
I think to maintain even competition between the teams, I'd like to supply them the same race oil, and I think that's very doable. The engines appear at the outset to be very similar.
We're doing a Chevy 572 Big Block.
598.8 cubic inch Big Block.
We'll supply them a race oil to help the motors survive and get down the racetrack.
On Tuesday, we had this all laid out. Quarter panels, mountain doors, get the gauges in the dash. The unfortunate thing is not one of that's done. None of it's done. Mr. Jennings is getting frustrated. We're flip-flopping from this to that to this to that, you know, this size tire, that size tire. You can talk to this guy, he'll tell you this thing. You talk to that guy, he'll tell you that thing. You'll talk to everybody, will give you a different answer.
Several other people had different opinions on the tire size.
He's not a drag racer. He doesn't understand these things.
I'm an auto shop teacher. I'm not a full-blown drag racer. I have to rely on, you know, my experts to give me their expert opinion.
What tire are we running? Really? Oh, no, I'm hearing other opinions again. I thought we all voted for the 12.
Yeah, but it won't work.
Not him. I voted for the 10-5.
I heard from a guy that Ramona's for sure testing this weekend. They're like kind of taking their time. I heard that they're building 2 cars.
So when you tell anybody what you're building a Chevy Monza.
I think it's more than just a rumor that they had pallets of parts the day they walked in, and we're still ordering parts.
We need to focus on our own plan.
There's plan A and then there's reality, I guess.
There's a lot of chatter, and it seems to be overly concerned about what's happening up there on the mountain.
Might have to get my freak on.
There's a fair amount of people being evacuated to the school.
We're seeing if their school would burn down. Today is our homecoming parade. Our classes make floats and we go through town and see everybody. I'm towing Rhino with his mini dragster with this through town, and Mr. Grace is gonna drive his Nova behind us.
People are riding skateboards, we're riding bikes, just waving and having a good time. It's a cool atmosphere. It's good for our team.
So the front clip can be done today. The dashes and gauges can be done within, what, half an hour?
Yeah, I mean,
Joey, you knocked it. Why don't you guys do that? Joey and Chase, go knock out the dash, please.
There's a lot of chatter, and it seems to be overly concerned about what's happening up there on the mountain.
Like the littlest things can be pretty tough.
Realistically, you don't need to worry about that. Let them do whatever they're doing. We'll do whatever we're doing. When come race day, we'll iron it all out.
All they did is take a piece of sheet metal, rolled it over, cut it out, and it's all done by them, you know, the kids. So I'm real impressed, and they're about done. They have a couple more tabs to go.
This is the side that was destroyed on previous episodes. We're making modifications to the body, so we're hoping we can get up to a 14-inch tire in here. And so we did the best we could with this side, but normally we flanged this. We made sort of a flange here, which lets it sit in almost flush. After the car gets primered and painted and everything like that, it will, 150 miles an hour, it'll look great. Check this edge for me, because I didn't look at one. Hey, knucklehead. I'm not allowed to beat them.
We have about 5 weeks to go. Jose, Cody, and Cy are getting the body all smoothed out and ready for paint. And getting it ready for the Bulldog Blurple.
Right now we have to sand the body and prime the bumpers.
There's a real good replacement for Breaker, no offense, Breaker.
I would like to learn how to make graphics on cars.
He's quiet, he gets his stuff done. His name's Hose A, I like calling him Hose B.
Blurple? I'm sorry, when you say Blurple, it's a funky name. That's why you wear these white gloves. It's actually like the real name, it's written on the can and everything. Sophomore year, you don't really get to do much because you're the underclassman, so you get to do all the grunt work, like tape off the cars, all exciting stuff. And then this year is when I really started painting a lot, and I got the opportunity to paint the car. It was pretty cool to be the first person to spray Blurple on the car. Can't say I've done it to many cars, but it's a cool color.
You guys are late. Detention.
Detention.
What are you guys doing right now?
We are gonna measure top dead center.
Well, pretty much at Machine Tech, we start out with a bare block, and we pretty much just fully assembled it.
Maximum amount of travel in the piston. When they came in the shop, I started from the very beginning showing them how to read a micrometer, how to look at specifications. Watch the indicator. And then transfer that into how we use our gauging. Now go as slow as you come up. And then we're showing them along the way what to look for as they did the assembly work.
We bolted everything together, and you bolt the heads on, put the push rods in, put the lifters on, and then just torque it all down.
Pretty exciting from the standpoint the kids did 95% of the work in the assembly of the motor.
What is gonna happen to this motor?
It's gonna go vroom vroom.
It's an all aluminum block, all aluminum heads.
Okay, Mike, pull your side up.
All aluminum pistons, high compression. Our motor without power adders, my guess, 750.
$1 million.
Problem we had was my guys at the shop were discussing making 1,500 horsepower on nitrous.
If we hook up, we're gone. We're gonna hook up.
The motor was designed around developing that kind of horsepower.
We hook up, dude, we're out of there. Monty was insistent that a 10.5 tire would not hook up.
We've seen cars get down track with that kind of tire, start spinning the tire, they're out of control, they're on their lid. Somebody gets hurt.
One week I made a decision to do a 10.5-inch tire. The next week, next day I made a decision to do a 12-inch tire. I was being pulled in all sorts of different directions.
I actually called on the phone and said, this is the tire we're gonna run, it's 10.5. And I said, you're not gonna run that tire successfully and you could get somebody hurt.
We had people telling us to use this tire and other people telling us to use this tire.
The biggest problem was they didn't have the wheels and tires that go on the car. It's just common sense. You don't cut a part out to clear something that's not there. I thought it was crazy right then.
Every time I turned around with a phone call would be, well, this is the tire we're gonna get. It's a 10.5 tire. Everybody says we can run it. I know you can't, but we could run up against conditions where it's not going to work and it could actually create a real downfall for us.
They wanted us to listen to them or else they weren't gonna help us, and it got crazy.
Too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Attention Bulldogs, please report to the football field for your homecoming assembly.
Today was just a homecoming assembly.
We had a relay race with all the classes. The car has been going real well. It's a rolling chassis as it sits right now in the shop.
What am I doing for homecoming?
Chris and Kim going to the homecoming dance.
Kim, yeah, I tend to embarrass her sometimes. Might have to get my freak on.
Don't want to miss it.
I think she'll live. She kind of has to.
Go inside, dance, party afterward. Dance.
How you doing?
Dancing.
Oh. I don't have any dance moves. People assume that I have all these cool freak dance moves and whatnot. I don't really have anything. They're just a bunch of freaking really bad attempts at dance moves, so people think it's something, but it's not.
Our engine is built by some homeboys. Theirs was built by a bunch of rednecks.
It's beautiful.
I would rather take this to prom than a girl.
Burn home. And back east, you might get snow days because of too much snow. We get snow days because of too much ash in the air.
The game's called Ramrod.
I shouldn't say I'm the inventor, but sort of had to deal with it.
I think it was just Sausage, just being himself, just throwing down a helmet.
Get the helmets. Yeah, go get the helmets. All right, go get the helmets.
The objective of the game is there'd be one really big guy. I
think I'm going up against Sausage.
Medium-sized or small guy. Throw them in the circle and let them go at it.
Yeah, you want to represent El Camino as far as headbutting? Why don't you guys go for it?
And put on the helmet and sort of go football style at people and just charge and hit people as hard as you could. And then it kind of turned into full gladiator headbutts.
You know who the winner is. Concussion.
So when he gets knocked out,
whoever goes down first.
It was fun. I think it was something to help us relax.
It's a waste of time. I mean, we have work to do and they're screwing around.
All right, that's it. We got to call a sponsor on helmets.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful. I want to hear it revving up.
I would rather take this to prom than a girl.
This doesn't talk back.
Yeah.
We just got our motor delivered to the school and we're about to take it down to the dyno shop, so see how it runs. Right now we're setting up the engine dyno. Find out what the horsepower and torque is on it. Hopefully get a good number out of it. We're looking for high horsepower. There's not too much that can go wrong unless something's not right in the engine or if it's not right on the dyno stand, but should all go just fine. Sounds great. Way better than I thought it would. I love it.
It was 770 coming off the throttle.
When you do some carburetor work, it'll pull a lot more than that.
Tuning the motor, that's going to be the hardest part, trying to get the most horsepower out of it. Just the engine, that'll probably be around 900.
900. 850, 1,000, 2,000.
It's a Dart aluminum block. It's a 454, but it's bored out to a 598.8 to be exact.
Our number one concern when we first fire this up, safety for you guys, back up, heaven forbid, but something does occur, it's going to scatter this direction. We don't want anybody standing alongside so they could possibly get hurt. Just stand back, everything will be fine.
Our engine is built by some homeboys. Theirs was built by a bunch of rednecks.
Fire in the hole. Stand back.
It's far enough. Just carry it here.
Wow.
There's a fair amount of people being evacuated to the school.
One of my good friends called me up and she's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?"
Right now we have high winds.
We're gonna go over there and start packing up stuff.
We're seeing if their school would burn down.
The wildfires, that's just a typical Southern California September. Back east, you might get snow days because of too much snow. We get snow days because of too much ash in the air. One of my good friends called me up and she's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I had no idea what was going on.
Last year we had the wildfires.
She's like, "There's a fire right up Black Canyon." So I ran outside and there's smoke coming down the back hill. Oh crap.
He had a bunch of tools that he had just got. They all burned into a big puddle of metal. The whole entire town was evacuated and basically just a ghost town burning up with smoke.
That's pretty much it right there. Internal structure was just twisted iron.
He got the chance to get in, I think, and just get a couple things, but fire was coming, he had to get out.
Brendan lived in the continent of Africa. That's how he got his nickname.
What I really miss the most is our memories from Africa, because we don't have anything left. I mean, we don't even have baby pictures of me anymore.
What's left over my socket, a 9/16.
What I'm doing right now is I'm cutting them out, the inner circle. So when I lay this right here, I can do a quick spray paint of where I want the gauges to be.
It actually affected my auto career quite a bit because last year at that time, we were part of the NHRA contest.
I called Mr. Jordan and asked if we're still doing it, and he said, well, if you could get the team together, then yeah.
And our senior team, we couldn't find the students because everybody evacuated. No one was to be found.
And they couldn't get in contact with me at all because they had no idea where I was.
So we got another kid from the other team as an alternate.
All the odds were set against us to doing well. And our kids came through and just did everything perfect and won the championship.
And I come back to school and then I was like, oh, I missed NHRA, oh crap.
But he was still a part of the team, so the auto program reimbursed him.
Mr. Jordan, he was very generous, and he said, I will match whatever money that they win.
So our auto club got another $750 to give to that young man because he really should have been on the team, but he couldn't.
I was blown away by that. I was so thankful.
Last year, the fires hit us. This year, it's the areas around Oceanside.
Camp Pendleton, the military base that's right up the way. It was on fire 3 days ago, and now it's on fire again. A lot of the students from El Camino actually live all along the back gate of Camp Pendleton.
We were watching the news because there were fires just up towards Oceanside, so we were seeing if their school would burn down.
The one thing that makes fires worse in Southern California is when you get Santa Ana, the conditions.
Once the winds blow and the Santa Ana winds bring in a lot of that desert heat, they're unstoppable. Ramona's a hub for the fire attack stations.
Right now we have high winds, and the firefighters can do their best all day long and keep dropping their fire retardant on there, but when the winds are shifting, they're never going to get it until the winds die down. The winds just, push the fire along, and the fire moves so fast that they can never get a chance to, contain it.
Our school is being used as an evac center.
It's the closest place for all the evacuees to go.
I don't know how many people are at the gym right now, but there's a fair amount of people being evacuated to the school.
If the fires get any worse and I get a phone call from one of my friends, we're gonna go over there and start packing up stuff, help them move to a safer location.
On behalf of your Eagle Board, I'd like to congratulate you. As of this date, you are an Eagle Scout.
We are dedicating and putting in memory to Robert's dad, who passed away last week, as a surprise.
When your father passed away, didn't want us to do anything for you, so some of the kids and I got together. We decided to do this. We're going to build this in memory of him, and we're going to win for him.
Well, the show must go on.